Hi, how are you doing today? I wonder if any of you have ever watched the programme The Repair Shop. This is one of my mum's favourite programmes, and she's actually applied to be on it to have something restored, with no luck as yet. In this programme, if you haven't seen it, people bring along their items which may or may not have any monetary value, but they are of great value to them personally, and experts bring them back to life. They restore them. I'm sure we all have something we'd like to be restored and brought back into use. I wonder if any of you have ever worked at restoring anything. To do this, you've possibly spent hours lavishing care, attention and love on something to return it to its former glory. I watched the reinstatement of the railway line here in Banchory and wonder at the dedication the volunteers show in giving their time and the effort that they put in to restore that. As Christians, we celebrate the joy of Easter and the renewal of hope this brings, but we are often in need of a bit of repair too. Today, I want to talk a bit about Jesus restoring his disciples, and to do this, he showers them with his care and attention. This is such a beautiful story of grace and compassion, loving and kindness, and through it we see so much more of who Jesus is and how he wants us to live our lives. John crafts the story so well, and it makes compelling reading as it's filled with so much detail. You can find this in John chapter 21 if you'd like to read the story. The start of this story has 7 disciples fishing on Lake Galilee, 7 men who were fishermen returning home back to their roots. This was where we first met them, before they were disciples of Jesus, and like we all do when our lives are turned upside down, they have returned to where they feel comfortable, which is important as they were feeling quite lost, with no real idea of what they were going to do with their lives now. They had returned home, and Simon Peter said he was going out to fish, and the others went with him. We're told it was dark. Does darkness just describe the night? Or does it also describe the mood and how they were feeling? They fished at night, but they weren't doing that well, and their nets remain empty. But again, I don't think it was just their nets that were empty, but that their lives felt empty now too, empty without Jesus. Then Jesus appears to the disciples. He is appearing to broken and vulnerable men who had no sense of hope for the future. Disciples, like us, desperately in need of a fresh start with God, desperately in need of finding value and worth and a sense of identity, to know that they are loved and that their lives are worth something. Jesus knows how weak and vulnerable his disciples are feeling. He knows how much they are hurting. He knows how much they need to be met with love. And so he appears to them and calls to them, his children. This a clear indication of the depth of love and sense of protection he has over them. Jesus is restoring them. He stood on the shore and the followers didn't notice him, and he spoke. He greets them and asks them simply, did they catch anything? No, they had not. Their nets were empty. Jesus then told the disciples how to fill their empty nets. Throw the net on the right side of the boat, he said. They did that, and by following what Jesus told them to do, they filled their nets once more. Jesus is once again showing the disciples who he is, his authority over all things, and of course his love for them, and with this he is showing he has forgiven them. So here we have Jesus meeting his disciples once more, after all their failure during Passion Week, after they have run away, after they have given up hope and gone back to their old lives. Jesus meeting with them in the same way he met them on day 1, doing the same thing that introduced them to him at the beginning. And it's as if he's saying, do you remember how it was before? It can be like that again. Let's get back to the beginning and start again. I forgive you, and I am still calling you. This is a beautiful act of grace and mercy, and through this Jesus is restoring them. I know I need this reminder that Jesus is there for me too. My life can sometimes feel a bit empty, and just like the items brought into the repair shop, I can feel a bit broken and in need of repair. I look at this story and see parts of my life and my needs for the love and grace that Jesus showed not just his disciples, but everyone. After all that has happened, the denials, the betrayals, the wrongdoing, Jesus is there, still serving his disciples, showing he still loves them, just as he said he would, just as he does for us every time we ask. We too are forgiven and showered by his grace and mercy and love.